Alright, so today's video, what we're going to look at is installing a toilet. We as plumbers run our water lines, run the drain lines, but as I explained in classes before, learning other trades and other parts of the trade can be very beneficial to you. So what we've done here is what we're doing is we're in the middle of remodeling, a complete remodel of the bathroom. So we put in a new tile floor, and the problems you run into with this is with the existing toilet flange, you see that it's below the surface of the new floor. So we have an option of actually cutting that out, raising it up, or what we can do is use a flange adapter. So this will actually fit down inside of the original and will act as the new toilet flange and now bring it up flush. So as this goes in, you see our tile needs to be adjusted so that that could fit in there and sit flush. We'll secure it, and at that point we'll be ready to move on and install the toilet. Cut the trim to make sure that the flange can fit. Inserted it, secured it, and you're going to see here the center line on your drain is 12 inches from the wall. Okay, that's your standard set for a toilet. And at this time, we're now going to get ready to attach the bowl. And when we do that, first thing we have to do is put the wax ring on. And this is a seal that prevents any kind of leaks. And you'll notice that there's a flange in here, little wax residue, we can get that out. That flange goes down into the toilet flange that's connected to the bend. We put a little bit of pressure, try to get that to stick on. What we'll do is take this and center it over our bolts. Okay. What we're going to do is put some pressure on to make sure that that wax ring squashes down nice and tight to create a seal. At this point, we'll snug up the bolts, make sure everything's level, and when we come back, we'll put on the tank. Okay, so now the toilet's installed, it's been leveled and secured to the toilet flange. We're ready to attach the tank to the toilet. This is where the toilet originally was called a water closet, if you remember. The closet stores something. This stored the water to make the toilet work. So before we start, we're going to attach the tank to toilet gasket. Make sure that's nice and secure. Okay, and then what we'll do is line the tank up with the mounting holes. It's easier said than done sometimes. We got to make sure we're lined up so that that gasket sits in there properly. And that looks like we have it in place. You push bolts down, to do is get the bolt started. By hand on both sides. You don't want to tighten one side more than the other. As you secure it, you want to tighten one side, then go to the other and work your way down to make an even seal. If you over tighten one side, it could sit cocked, and the other side's not compressed enough to form the seal. Most of the toilet assemblies will come with these little plastic wrenches, so you really don't need your own, but you should always have yours as a backup. So as I tighten, make a few turns, try to do the same amount on the other side. And you're going to continue alternating sides until you get a China to China connection, meaning the China from the tank touches the China from the toilet. At that point you want to stop so that you don't over tighten it, because you can crack the tank. Of course, we don't want that. Okay, we've got a connection here. We should have a nice tight level seal now. So now we have our toilet in place. Now if you come over and take a look in here, we haven't quite gotten to valves yet, but this is a float valve. Okay, this float valve is what controls the water coming into the tank. So as we turn it, when we make the connections and turn this on, this is your refill. It's going to come in, put water into the bowl, and fill up the tank. As the water rises, it's going to lift this float, and then it stops the water from entering into the toilet. Then we flush it. Of course, the water drops down. The float valve goes down, and that leaves the line open to let the water come back in again. Okay, your flapper is what creates the seal. Pressure gets on top of it, pushes it down. It will not let the water seep into your toilet. Now, a lot of times with older homes or older toilets, there may be residue that builds up on the rim of that flapper. Sometimes you can take a little Brillo or something and just kind of rub it off, make it seal again. Best bet is to put a new one in, and they're not difficult. You can buy a replacement. Once that's all said and done, we'll attach the fill hose and we'll give it a test run. Okay, so far, what I'd like you guys to answer is, what is the piece called that the toilet actually gets bolted to? When that piece is too low, when a new 4 goes in, what do we put in to bring the level up? How far is the center line of the drain from the back of the toilet, from the wall behind the toilet? Next question, what is used on the bottom to seal the connection between the flange and the toilet? And then finally, what's the valve called in the toilet that controls the water? Get these questions and send them back to me. That's your assignment for Thursday. All right, guys, stay safe.